Okay, so for 2B, the first question is basically exposed to the children when they are in primary 4. They are supposed to have been exposed to it, but a lot of the children find it difficult to even answer questions which outrightly ask for HCF and LCM. So in this first question, we try as far as possible to remind the children that we are talking about factors and multiples. So take a look at the numbers. If they are quite big, usually the rule of thumb is it is a factor question. So we're looking for factors because they are supposed to subdivide 48 and 64 respectively into factors, and their common factor would be the possible number of bags. So in order to get the highest common factor, because we're looking at as many bags as possible without any leftovers, so therefore we're going to try to get the children to see how it can be done. So pictorially, if I were to represent this bag, right, it would be a certain number of cookies plus a certain number of wafers times a certain number of bags, okay, which will give you a total of 48 cookies and 64 wafers. So this concept is quite simple to them, but to get from here to what we want is a bit of a stretch for them in terms of their thinking. So by now, the children would have been puzzled. You definitely need to ask the children, okay, are there any questions? And usually they will ask questions related to this part of the question. They don't understand how this is phrased, and they cannot interpret it properly. So make sure that they understand that simply put, she must have both cookies and wafers, and every bag must have both elements, and in each bag there must be an equal number of cookies from the next bag as well as wafers from the next bag. So it will take some time for them to digest that, but eventually they get there. So there is a way to do this. It's called the ladder. So using the ladder, we're going to teach them how to find the biggest possible factor between 48 and 64. Okay, so I usually get the children to label C and W for the two categories, and it is basically listing the numbers. All right, so I think they can divide by 8, which will give me a 6 and an 8. But is that the smallest number of cookies and wafers? No, because we can further divide them. Okay, not sure what happened over there. So you can divide them further by 2, and you would have a 3 and a 4. And these are non-divisible. Simply put, there would be 16 bags, okay, with 3 cookies and 4 wafers in each bag. All right. So therefore, how many wafers would there be in each bag? The final answer will be 4. So 4 wafer in each bag. So that's the final answer. And checking again is about reversing everything that you did before to check whether or not it fits. So if there are 4 wafers and you have 16 bags, would you get 64 wafers? Yes. Now next one, you definitely need to use 3 cookies times 16 to see whether or not you get 48 cookies, because these two numbers must correspond to the question. Okay, so this is the checking.